My name is Saul. Welcome everybody to the trading room. Remember, before we get started, that we're going to be analyzing and trading live market conditions. So what I'm going to show you is only the way I see the markets and I execute trades. That doesn't mean is the best way to do that or the best for you or the one you should be using. I will try to show you some money management and trade management techniques that you can apply in all your strategies and situations. Now, because of being Monday, as usual, we're gonna start with a long-term perspective. We're gonna give some perspectives for the week, and afterwards, if we have some time and some setups lining up, we might take some trades together. So let's just get started off the daily chart. And I'm showing right now the Euro USD. I will go through the majors, and afterwards, if you have anyone that you use to trade and want to analyze together, we might just go ahead and do that as well. So let's start with the Euro USD. We had last week, we had the breakout of this big range that was holding for months. We had a breakout and then the continuation and stopped at that red line. That red line aligns with the bottom point of that range right there, which is will be a supply area. If I zoom in, let's see that closer. Okay, you can see that's the bottom part of that big range right there, and price will be facing some supply all over this area that will be holding price from going higher and higher. However, our bias is all, of course, is bullish. We did have this stop, but we can see even today we've already gone down. I guess we tested some demand back here or something, and we're trending upwards as well. So my perspective for the week will be bullish on the Euro USD and kind of pull back to this area. Let's see if we can identify some demand together. Okay, you can see right here. So any kind of pullback of price to that area, I will be looking to buy this market. Let's move on to the pound. The pound, we had this kind of movement upwards was more compressionary. We call this a compression, where there was a lot of tiny candlesticks going up and down and executing all demand and supply on the way. So we had on last Friday, we had this rejection to that key level, and we saw today that break down. However, we are also we're also pulling back from that breakout, but we can see on the long-term period, we can see some nice supply of the one hour chart that might provide a nice sell opportunity. But of course, our bias is, I guess, is still bullish. So we can look for, I guess, demand areas down here, and we can look for buying opportunities. Not as clear bias as the Euro USD, but the overall bias, at least what I see, is this big bullish trend. USD franc, all the opposite. We're going down. You can see we broke last week. We broke key levels. We are on. I don't even have history to go that back. Okay, so we're in historical lowers on the USD franc. So we will keep that bearish trend. Of course, the lower we go, we will be facing some demand and institutions that will be willing to buy this market, but they will have a hard time to just change the direction of the trend. So the trend is bearish. If we go to lower time frames, we can try to identify some supply areas, and we can look for selling opportunities of those areas. So any kind of pullback, we'll try to short. In New Zealand USD, again, we're bullish. We had some pause on last Friday, but again, you can see we're trending similar to the Euro USD. We're already we trended during the London session. We're trending to the downside, and now we're pulling back to the upside. So we'll continue looking for buying opportunities. I don't see a lot of demand. I see some demand back here, but we might be forming some demand as we pull back. We might see we will be facing some demand and buying opportunities. So you can see the overall trend is to the long side. The red line right there. Let's see the supply. Why did we stop there? Let's zoom in. Okay, it's this line right here. So this is the supply we're reacting right now, and that's why price stopped and react. But if this supply does not hold, there's nothing to stop this market to continue all the way to that red line, maybe somewhere there, where there's next supply, and of course all the way to the upside. But for there, we have right now here we have more than 100 pips. So in any break up, we can try to catch the next leg for another 100 pips. USD CAD, similar to the franc, you can see we're trending lower and lower and lower. There has been some attempts to reject this red line, which is the 120.29 or 130. We had 2 attempts with another attempt to hold. You can see the tails there almost breaking down and price holding, but last week we see the breakout. So now that level will be a significant supply area. So any kind of pullback to that area, we'll try to short the market. If we zoom into the hourly chart, we can identify short-term supply area. So you can see this nice one right there. And of course, we have some supply there, and the red line, which is the breaking point, okay, somewhere there around that area. Those are great opportunities for sell the market. How low will that market go? Hard to tell, but let's see if we find some stopping points. Maybe there. Okay, you see that supply, you see that demand there. And of course, all the way down here, somewhere here. But we have a lot of space to that. Okay, we have almost 200 pips. So of course, it won't go just linear to the downside, but that should be the direction. There might be some fundamental news or releases during the week that might just revert this trend, but I believe it requires a lot of effort to reverse this trend right now. So we'll be looking for bearish opportunities. Aussie, similar to the Kiwi. So we tested that red line, which was the breaking point of the last key level. You can see the red line just stopped there, and now it's reversing. So we'll be focusing also on the long side. And dollar yen is the only one that has not a clear direction or trend. Of course, we're inside this huge channel, so we're feeling we're consuming all demand and supply on the way. But I guess you can trade both sides, buys short and long. I have a, let's try to zoom into that. Okay, you can see this demand here, so that would be a good buying area for me. But I don't have a bias on this one. And those are the majors. So if any one of you has any other pair that usually trades, just let me know and we can go review that one. If not, we can, yeah, how could I miss that? Pound yen. Just please, guys, on your chat, please switch your settings so everyone can see what you type. You have three. Yeah, so all attendees and panelists can see what you type. Let's have a look to the pound yen. Pound yen. Yeah, I guess neutral. I don't see a lot of directional movement. So I see nice. We would have to go to lower time frames to look how that formed. But I see some demand here, some demand here. Of course, I believe there will be some supply up there. Let's see how that looks on the hourly chart. Yeah, so that one not. You know, there's not an aggressive movement of that area. So for me, it's not a tradable demand. But this is a very clear one. Okay, so you have this one right here, and we have this one down here. This is a very nice one. So let's just mark those. Okay, so those are demand areas. Let's see if we see some, if we find some supply. Of course, you have this one just formed off the hourly chart. Let's see if there's anything else. That one right there. And here, nothing very clear all the way to maybe there. So I'm neutral for pound yen. I'll be willing to both buying and selling this market. I don't have a clear bias on this one. Enrique, which time frame you use to determine the bias? Depend on what time frame I'll be trading actively, but I go from the daily, sometimes the weekly, but I use the daily for my overall bias. Then if I'm gonna be trading off the 1 minute chart, maybe I will take my bias off the hourly. I'm sorry, if I'll be scalping the 1 minute chart, so maybe my bias, I will get it from the hourly chart or the 15-minute chart. Okay, so something more really relevant to the 1 minute chart. But my overall trend direction, I will take it from the daily charts. John, you're short Aussie CAD. You want to, where is it? Let me open up. Aussie CAD, 1 hour. You short at what time? What price you short, John? Of that supply there? Yeah, nice. Let me see what's the. Yeah, I guess it's neutral as well. So I would say that's a valid sell. Where's your stop loss placed? Next supply higher, all the way there. $95.35. There, somewhere there. All right. Yeah, you should expect any kind of reaction of this supply area. Of course, we need to understand where is this movement coming from. So let's try to find out that. Let's see there. Yeah, nothing very strong. Neither from the daily. Yeah, I guess you should get any kind of reaction of that area. So good luck with that one. Liam, you're short dollar yen. Okay, so you should be in profit. You see how we're dollar yen. You can see how we're pushing. We're forming, lower highs all the time. We're now we will be about to test that that support there, and usually this kind of formation will tend to break, in this case lower. So you might be on the right side of the market. So well done, Liam. All right, guys. Yeah, great. Thanks for sharing. Great analysis. Let's see if we find out some setups. What you say? Now, if I'm in front of the charts and I have time to actively manage the trades, so I might go to the 5-minute chart or even 1-minute chart and look closer at what's going on. So we have off the 5-minute chart on the pound dollar. There should be some reaction to that area, which is what we're seeing right now. But even more, we should see reaction of that area. So if price goes all the way there, we will try to sell the market. Okay, depending on how the market gets there. If it goes very, very aggressively to that area, it might just break it. But if it goes kind of sideways and in a slowing momentum way, we will look to short the market. And all the opposite, if we go to the Kiwi or to the Euro USD, you can see more like a sharp movement to the upside. So that's a more clear pattern for me to trade to the upside, which is aligned with the daily and with all my time frames. So I like this kind of pattern. Okay, this B pattern, it's a real rejection. So now if I want to trade this time frame, I look for demand. Okay, so I have some demand here, and of course we have some more demand down there. Okay, so any kind of pullback to those areas, those are great points for looking for buying opportunities. Now, if we want to look for even shorter opportunities. And we don't want to wait that long, so we can go to the 1 minute chart and try to look for demand of the 1 minute chart, which is less precise, and you will get more false signals. But of course, we could say this is demand, and this is demand. Okay, you can see how the bullish candle movements, the bullish movements are sharper than the bearish ones. So any kind of pullback to those areas, we could try to buy the market. Of course, we have this support right now, so you can also try to buy the support. Like, where's the stop loss in the euro 5 minute chart? Depends what you get in, but if you wait for price to come all the way to this area, so I would get out at the other end of that area. So if I were buying here, somewhere here, so I would like to go out somewhere there, okay, in the bottom part of the demand area. Same here, if I wait for price to come all the way down here, and I'm buying down here, so of course I want my stop loss to be below all that area right there, okay, below the demand area. And in this case also, for me, it's important, the pivot point is important as well. Let me see if we have something else more clear. Yeah, this could be a valid buy. If I think the support will hold, I can take a buy position with a really tight stop loss. My stop loss, I can place it maybe there. Okay, so I could have 3 pips of risk, which is not a lot, but this is a low probability trade. But we can try it out. Let's see how it's forming on the 1 minute chart. On 5 minute chart, I mean, this might start moving sideways. Now, if this is going to break these levels right there, it needs either to move sideways and then a continuation to the upside, or it needs to pull back and in order for it to move higher. So real time is not that easy to say, okay, we'll move sideways and then up, or pull back and then up. So you need to be prepared for both scenarios. So let's take it. We'll place our stop loss there. Remember, these trades are not intended to be replicated on your own account, so just be responsible for your own trades. Now I need to watch price closely, because that was deep movement, bearish movement. So this might create continuation. And of course, if we zoom into the 1 minute chart, so you see the tiny supply there, correct? So price will have a hard time just breaking that supply area. So for scalpers, if you like to scalp, that's a good point for taking profits, okay? Because you don't expect to get more than one impulse, okay, or one price cycle. If we think this might continue on a stronger movement to the upside, so of course you can just move your take profits and watch how prices react to to that supply area, and maybe you are in a great position for a larger time frame movement, which would be a continuation of this formation right here. Okay, that's a greedy one. Okay, but okay, so scalpers, this is a great place for taking profits. If you identify you're on a and movements, price starts moving aggressively in your favor, so you can just trail your take profit and try to take larger profits. But we have a supply there. You see that supply, it aligns perfect with what could be a potential head and shoulders. Okay, you can all see that might form there head and shoulders and a reversal pattern. Okay, so you need to be aware of that. So if I'm long, I need that pattern not to form. Okay, just to break that supply, and then the next possible formation might be a double top that I need also not to form in order for my trade to work out, and eventually breaking up. Okay, so you can see the reaction of the supply. Look how precise where the red line is and the rectangle. Okay, that supply coming in. Now for me, there's no more point of holding my stop loss all the way down there. Okay, now if in case of that head and shoulder forms, this would be the famous neckline, correct? And I don't want to hold my positions deeper than that. So, okay, so that red line was a great place for a scalp. You know, that would represent a four pip profit, which might sound as not much, as little, but believe me, if you can consistently take 3 or 4 pips of profit of the markets, if you're trading, of course, the 1 minute chart and 5 minute charts, it's easier to expect 3 or 4 pips of profit than 50 or 100. So it's easier to make a lot of trades that provide 4 pips than one trade that will provide 40 pips. Okay, if you know what I mean. This all based on the 1 minute chart, of course. GEU rejection. What do you say for a sell? Sebas, what time frame you're looking for? 30 minutes. Yeah, I don't see clear supply all the way up there. So I would be holding. That's me. Okay, that's only my reading. It's not. I'm a lot of times I'm wrong. If you have a signal, an entry signal, that's a valid sell. Okay, we are in the breaking area. Okay, I'm sure we will see some resistance coming here that might just take the price down. Okay, that's a very nice setup. But if you want to trade on a high probability area, I don't see any supply available here all the way to that point there. Yeah, I see the resistance. I see what you mean. I see the resistance is testing now, and that's why I think it's a valid setup. For me, if I'm trading this pair, I would like to see a little bit more confirmation, maybe a break of the lows of previous candlestick or something like that, before getting just I'm not sure I would just go blind without confirmation. I would look for any kind of confirmation. Okay, how's our trade? Okay, so there was supply. Now second test of the supply, we should see continuation this time. Of course, it might just reverse on us. Again, this is a great place for taking profits. Okay, there's no, that would be a super valid trade and a valid take profit area. Okay, now it's breaking supply. Let's mark now last resistance now. Okay, this might form now a double top, correct? And it might reverse. And in case it breaks, I will move my, okay, now it's breaking. I want to see the continuation of that movement. What else do we have? We have these levels there. Okay, which I guess is that reaction. Let's see how that forms. Now, not taking profits is greedy, okay, from my perspective. I mean, I got into a setup based of the 1 minute chart. Being up 10 pips is it's a complete price cycle. So holding your trade longer than that, it's just greedy, okay, which is fine. There might be sometimes to be greedy, but at any point it's fine to just book profits. And I think I've been trying, to tell you that consistency is more important than outcome. Okay, if you can generate a certain amount of return or pips or dollars consistently, so you only need to increase your lot size and keep taking the same trades, and that's it. Now, based on a daily perspective, of course, depends how this keeps moving. Yeah, taking profits is one of the toughest tasks in trading. But for that, I will keep watching price. If we have some more time, and as long as it's forming and increasing momentum in my favor, I will let it run. If I start to see some resistance or so, I will just book the profits. Leo, trail stop loss. Yeah, that's a great trade management techniques. You can once a trade is in your favor, there's a lot of things to minimize risk. Correct? I can take partial profits. I can close part of the profits, and just let it run, or you can trail your stop. Okay, you can trail your stop to a break-even position, or even book profits. I'm not a big fan of trailing stops that too early, because I need to give the market room for normal fluctuation. Okay, if you trail your stop too tight, the market will likely just come back, take your stop loss, and then continue in your favor. Okay, so you need to really make sure you give the market space to breathe and move in the direction it's moving right now. So in any case, I would I would rather maybe taking partial profits than trailing stops sometimes, until it forms a higher, in this case, is a higher pivot in my favor. So if it pulls back and then moves in my favor, then I would stop. I would trail my stop to that point, to that pivot low, okay, to that pivot right there, because it has formed already the pivot in my favor. But until then, I prefer just giving the market some room to move. And do I move my take profit depending on what you observe in each candle that is formed? It really depends on the setup I'm trading and what I'm looking from that trading session. If I was looking to get into more trades or so, I would just take profits. Now I want to analyze the behavior of the market and make decisions together. So that's what I'm letting it run. Yeah, just as we tend to move out, trail our stop loss, correct? And there's no reason why not trailing our take profits if we see there's potential for making more profits. But I don't tend to focus that much on every single candlestick. For me, the candlestick patterns are the less relevant in all patterns. Okay, you need to. I tend to focus more on price structure and key zones in the market than candlestick patterns. Okay, movement on Aussie dollar, very sharp movement. You can see fresh demand right there. So any pullback to that area, this is a nice area for buying dollar, Aussie dollar. And I'm not sure something here will hold that market. So you might just see a continuation of that movement. Yeah, I don't see anything else. So another thing we can do when we have a profit trade, if we think this is a fresh demand, I'm not sure I think that, but if this was, you can take profits, and then on next pullback, you can add to that position. So you maximize profits. Guys, any question, any setup lining up, something? sometimes the best thing to do is just sitting on your hands, correct? Not doing nothing and just letting price move. Okay, pound. Look at this pound dollar. So we are right at that levels right there, and you can see after this movement down, you can see how it's struggling price to go up. So it would not surprise me to see if those levels hold. Let's see that. Okay, it's breaking now. It wouldn't surprise me to see a reaction to that area and then a little pullback. Look, this is just gaining momentum, correct? This is just moving higher and higher. So as long as there's no slowing momentum, there's no reason for me to do something about it. I just need to let it run. Let's see. This is last resistance. It's been broken. Now, of course, we do have supply here. Not sure how strong. We might just test the very highs of these highs. You can see that candlestick is larger than the previous one and the previous one. So in the same amount of time is moving in my favor more price. So that's a signal in my favor, and that's a signal for not taking profits just yet. And in any case, that's a great setup for scaling in to that trade. For scaling in, you need to wait for either a little consolidation, this one right here, or a pullback, so you can add to that position. The question is if we, and this is very unexpected, but if we do test these highs and get to break them, we might just see a continuation based off the daily chart. So I can hold this trade based on a daily analysis, which is letting that run. Let's see what can hold that. I think I had it here. Yeah, that's a long shot, but that's a possible scenario. Okay. Again, we need to keep watching price and see how it behaves up there, because that might be the end of today's movement, correct? And again, guys, based on a 1 minute setup, booking profits, 20, 25, whatever, that's a great setup. Just take profits, move on, don't get greedy, correct? So it's a valid decision as well. And guys, I think we'll wrap up here. We gave our weekly analysis and my reading on the longer time frames, our biases for the week, and we'll just looking for opportunities for trading opportunities. So guys, thanks for coming, and I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I won't be here at the trading room, but either Sneer or Gil will be here trading with you, and I'll see you during the week next session. Thank you guys. Have a nice one.